you excited? We are going to be making leaf dishes. I love this project and I like this clay. I'd never used it before and I found it at my grocery store, just air dry clay, and it actually ends up drying like, it's very sturdy. I mean, I could probably break it if I snapped it in half, but it's definitely strong enough to hold something in it. Maybe some little pebbles that I find outside, a few little treats for my kids. But you can also use Play-Doh to do this. If you use Play-Doh, you want to make it a little bit thicker. The thinner it is, the more likely you'll get breaking like this. Also, I used a bowl that wasn't very round on the bottom. So try using a bowl that's really round and your chances of it breaking are much less. Also, when you roll out your Play-Doh or your dough, make sure it's not going to stick to the surface that you're rolling it on, because you won't be able to get it off and then you'll have to start over again. So just put it on something you can move around and make some cool textures in there. This is a really fun project. If you do it with if you do it with Play-Doh, you probably don't need to paint it. You could, I guess, but if you do it with air dry clay, it's kind of fun to paint it. And I would use acrylic paint to paint it. Let's get started. Also, all of the supplies are in the PDF that goes along with this lesson. So let's get started. All right, whether you're gonna use Play-Doh or air dry clay or this Sculpey, or actually this is called Model Magic, you're gonna do it the same way with anything that you use. So I'm just gonna show you with Play-Doh, and I have it on parchment paper because we need to be able to lift it up and place it on a bowl, like this bowl right here. And so if it sticks to the table, we can't do anything with it. So the first thing I do, I would just press it down first and get it as flat as you can, kind of with your hands, like a pancake. Then grab your rolling pin and you're going to roll it flat. You might have to keep one hand on the parchment paper. So whether you're using air dry clay or Play-Doh, you're just going to roll it out. And you want it to be big enough that you can trace a leaf onto it. And if you don't want to trace a leaf and you just want to make your like bowl out of the circle, that's totally fine too. You could do that. I just want to show you how you could do it if you were doing a leaf. And let's see if this will fit on my paper. Okay, it's getting bigger. Okay, so once you get it about to the size of the leaf, should be pretty close, you can go ahead and place the leaf. Don't smash it, because paper and Play-Doh sometimes, it's not a great combination. Sometimes paper will stick to your Play-Doh. So I'm just using, you can use your pencil to just lightly trace it on there, and then we can use the knife to carve it away. So because we want to get this paper off of here as soon as possible, because it will start to stick. So just trace it, whatever shape you're going to be making, then take that paper off. Then you have the shape of your leaf, and what you can do is grab the knife to carve it away. You could still use the pencil if you want. Since the shape of leaves is pretty easy just to make these triangle slices. So you slice into the middle that way, and then slice this way. So we're just slowly carving away the outside of this. I'm using this kid's butter knife, but you could use a pencil, works great. Or you could use a toothpick. I don't know where mine went, but you could use a toothpick. Then you can decorate your leaf. So you could use, I like to use the caps of markers. I just think it's kind of a cool texture you get with those. You could use Legos, either side of the Lego, and they're really cool. Totally up to you on what design you want to do on that side. And then on this side, you can really do whatever you want, but I like to just draw, sometimes. I like to draw into the leaf. And just try to make some of those veins that you see when you're looking at leaves outside. So you can just kind of draw into it. Then you grab your bowl and decide which side you want to be the top and which side you want to be the bottom. And then just drape it over your bowl and let it dry. If it's a little bit thicker, it might have better chances of surviving this part. And the same thing, if you're gonna use this air dry clay, which is really an awesome thing. I didn't even know about this until I saw it at the store. I wonder if that'll stick to my table. No? Okay, I'm just gonna show you how you might do it with this. Just grab a ball of it. The nice thing with this clay is it's real clay. And when it dries, it's a really nice surface. You can paint it. Try to make it into a ball. Now what you want to do is take your rolling pin, and just like we did with the Play-Doh, you want to roll it so it's flat and make sure it'll lift off whatever surface you're on. You don't want it to stick. Just get it as flat as you can get it. So a really easy way to make a leaf, and you don't have to make a leaf, remember. I always say that, but you really don't. So you just draw the bottom, and then you draw 2 triangles kind of coming down towards the bottom. And then for this side piece, you just make a short one and then a long one, and then a short one. So it should go short, long, and then short. And then you can put one here, like just this transition to the top. You go short, long, short, down. So it's like just making your crown. And then carve it away however you want. If you want to use your pencil, I wouldn't, because it would draw on my table. I just did. I'm gonna have to clean that later. So just use your butter knife, or you could, again, if you're like have this on a piece of paper, then you could use your pencil to carve this away. All right, once you get some of that clay taken away, let's put it together. So you could use this for something else. Put it back in the container. And then let's be really careful as we lift up this leaf. You can smooth it out, or we can just start adding some texture to it. But you can kind of use your fingers to smooth these edges. Any of these pieces that got a little bit torn, since this is clay, you can adjust it. Go ahead and put some kind of decoration into it. And then you can draw. This is pretty rough. I might just add just a little love to this side. This side got a little, this leaf is a little dry on this side, I'm afraid. And then you can draw in the pattern of a leaf, and you could just use the Y technique where you just draw a big Y, kind of like a Y on that side. Just drawing like these little veins that are running out around the leaf. So cover your bowl with plastic or saran wrap, grab your leaf, and just drape it over it and let it dry. At least overnight. I probably would wait maybe 2 or 3 days. All right, once you've let it sit for a few days, it should be dry. So this is one I made a few days ago, so it's actually dry now. So I have the pattern of the leaf inside, and then just this on the back. And this one was the air dry clay made by Crayola. But it's very, very sturdy. I mean, I definitely think I could break it if I wasn't careful. So it's sturdy but fragile. Both of these will be. But the nice thing with this surface is you can paint it if you want. You could use acrylic paint. I'll kind of show you what that looks like. But the Play-Doh, the thing I like about the Play-Doh is it already has the color on it. And you can see it got a little fragile here. So you might want to make it a little bit thicker. That might prevent this cracking from happening. Or use a round bowl. This bowl isn't really round. It kind of has this sharp edge and a drop off. So a round bowl is going to be a little bit better to prevent this kind of cracking. But you could use these as a decorative bowls. Now I'm just going to show you quick what this would look like if you painted it. Some of you might want to paint your leaves, and some of you might just like how they look. Can you paint Play-Doh? I don't know. Maybe. I don't see why not. So if you're going to paint it, just go ahead and put a little piece of paper under it just to make your cleanup easy. Grab whatever color or colors of paint you're going to use, a paintbrush, and get to work. Start painting that. The nice thing is you're making a little vessel to hold things in. Maybe some rocks that you've collected outside, or maybe, I don't know, something kind of light, kind of small, your favorite Lego. All right, when you're finished, just set it somewhere to dry, somewhere safe. So you just grab your paint and go ahead and paint it. That's the nice thing with this air dry clay is you can add acrylic right to the top of it. And when it's dry, you can use it. You could put maybe your rock collection inside of it or something like that. All right, how did it go? Did it dry? Did your leaf fall apart or did it stay together? Does it look really cool or is it something maybe you want to try again? I hope it did turn out and at least you learned something. Who knew you could make sculptures out of Play-Doh, let them dry and then just keep them forever instead of throwing away all of those old dry chunks of Play-Doh that we sometimes throw away. I'm sure you've never done that. And you've probably never left Play-Doh out so it got dry anyway. I'm just always doing that kind of thing. So after you're finished, now you probably have some extra Play-Doh, you have some extra clay. Make it into something, make it into a new sculpture. Maybe it's not a sculpture that's functional like this that holds something. Maybe it's a sculpture of like a person or an animal or an abstract shape, something like that. But whatever you do, make sure you enjoy it, have fun, and have a really great day.